Hello everyone, I'm Dinaline Estrada Ventura, a second-year business administration student, major in operations management, Block A2. So for today's video, I'm going to share to you the genres and subgenres of literary. But before we start, let us first define what is literary and genre. Literary are books and other writings that is usually written by expert authors, while a genre is a type or a category. So in short, literary genre is a type or category of literature. Okay, so let's start. We have four main literary genres. We have drama, fiction, nonfiction, and poetry. Drama. Drama is a piece of writing that tells a story and is performed on stage. Example of this is the drama that performed in theater, like that. The next one is the fiction. Fiction or imaginative literature. A story that did not actually happen in real life. Example of this is the movie entitled Twilight, where Edward is vampire. We all know that vampire is not real, right? So it is fiction. The next one is nonfiction or literature of knowledge. Nonfiction, writing that is real and factual or actually happened in real life. Example of this is autobiographies, biographies, and all about writing your own story. The next and the last one of literary genres is the poetry. Writing uses language and sounds in special ways to express ideas. So again, we have four main literary genres. We have first drama, next fiction, nonfiction, and the poetry. Actually, these literary genres has its own subgenres. In drama, we have two subgenres, the comedy and the tragedy. Comedy, a funny or humorous drama with a happy ending. Example of this is the comedy of errors. While in tragedy is a sad drama with a sad ending. The best example of this is the Romeo and Juliet love story. Next is the fiction. In fiction, we have its 8 subgenres. We have the fantasy, folklore, historical fiction, mystery, realistic fiction, romance, science fiction, and the thriller or suspense. Fantasy. Fantasy is all about or a story of fantasy world. The best example of this is the Harry Potter. Next is folklore. Folklore is all about old cultural stories. Includes fairy tales, fables, myths, legends, and tall tales. Next is historical fiction. A fiction story based on real history. Next is mystery. Mystery is all about a story about crime. Realistic fiction, a story that seems real but isn't real. Next of subgenres of fiction is romance. Romance is all about a love story. Next is science fiction, a story in the future with advanced technology. Best example of this is the movie entitled The Hunger Games. The next one and the last one is the thriller or suspense, a story that makes the readers get excited or nervous. So in short, fiction has its 8 subgenres. fantasy, folklore, historical fiction, mystery, realistic fiction, romance, science fiction, and the last one is the thriller or suspense. Okay, so next is the subgenres of nonfiction. We have 5 subgenres: biography, autobiography, narrative, periodicals, and the last one is the reference. The first one is biography. Biography is a story of person's life. Next is autobiography. A story the author writes himself or herself. The third one is the narrative nonfiction. So when we say narrative nonfiction, it is a story that happened in real life. Next of the subgenres of nonfiction is periodicals. Periodicals are magazines, newspapers, and journals that are written regularly. The next and the last one of the subgenres of nonfiction is the reference materials. Reference materials are books with facts in alphabetical order. Includes dictionary, thesaurus, and encyclopedia. Example of this is Merriam-Webster. So again, in short, nonfiction has 5 subgenres: biography, autobiography, narrative, periodicals, and the last one is the reference materials. Next are the subgenres of poetry. We have 3 subgenres of it. We have lyric, narrative, and dramatic. Lyric is all about a poem about the author's thought. Actually, most poems are lyrics. Example includes elegy, ode, and sonnet, and haiku. The next subgenres of poetry is the narrative. Narrative is all about a poem that tells a story. It includes epic. Epic is all about a long poem about a hero. The next and the last subgenres of poetry is the dramatic. Dramatic is a word spoken by a character. So in short, we have 3 subgenres of poetry. We have lyric, narrative, and dramatic. And that's all. I hope you learned a lot from this video. Thanks for watching. Bye!